He who controls the past commands the future. He who commands the future conquers the past. Aldous Huxley. Metropolis 5 is one of the 33 dazzling, futuristic cities spread across the vast surface of this dystopian land. These cities are marvels of technology and architecture, interconnected through a complex web of trade and cultural exchanges. They engage in fierce competition in areas ranging from economics to grand sports tournaments, creating an outward appearance of vibrant rivalry and progress. Yet beneath this polished exterior lies a darker truth. All 33 cities are under the control of a single, omnipotent entity known as the corporation. This shadowy organization orchestrates every aspect of life, from the economy to media and even the population's perceptions. The corporation's iron grip ensures that the supposed independence of these cities is merely an illusion. The cities are designed to appear self-sufficient, fostering a sense of isolation and competition. This setup prevents any collective rebellion against the overarching control. Citizens are kept content and distracted by elaborate sports spectacles and cultural events. All the while, the corporation manipulates events from behind the scenes. The illusion of freedom is meticulously crafted. Citizens are encouraged to pursue their dreams, indulge in consumerism, and believe they are part of a free society. They are even given semblance of choice in electing their leaders. Though these elections are carefully orchestrated, with candidates pre-selected by the corporation, every aspect of life is scripted, from careers to personal relationships, with the corporation's influence subtly interwoven into the everyday. Metropolis 5, like the other cities, is a gilded cage, a place where promise of a better life lures people into compliance. The cities are not merely competing for resources or status, they are vying for the corporation's favor, each trying to outdo the others in loyalty and efficiency. In this world, true power lies unseen, and the inhabitants are merely players in an orchestrated game. As Eris returned from his 3-month leave, he couldn't help but notice the subtle yet undeniable changes at the barracks since the sudden death of Malik Baum's predecessor. The atmosphere had shifted. It felt more sterile, less alive. The number of automatons seemed to have increased, their presence more pronounced than before. Meanwhile, the remaining CAOs, cyber-augmented organisms, moved with a different energy, less vibrant and more mechanical. It was as if the heart of the barracks had started to beat with a more calculated pulse. After registering in, Eris was swiftly transported to Malik Baum's headquarters. The building, a sleek edifice of glass and steel, stood as a testament to the corporation's might. Upon arrival, Eris navigated through the security protocols at the ground floor lobby, passing the weapons check before being escorted by a sentry to the elevator. As they ascended in the transparent shaft, Eris glanced out at the city. The view below, a panorama of architectural precision and activity, seemed almost too perfect, like a scene from a meticulously curated display. It struck him as both beautiful and unsettling, a facade of order hiding deeper, more complex truths. The elevator doors opened, revealing the top floor's waiting area. A CAO woman, strikingly beautiful and immaculately dressed in a dark corporate ensemble, greeted him.
Mr. Baum is waiting for you.
Her voice polite yet impersonal. The ambient lit space, with its minimalist design and mid-century furnishings, exuded a calculated calmness. A cozy seating area was arranged to the side, inviting yet cold in its perfection. As Eris was led down the corridor towards Baum's office, he felt a sense of unease. The recent changes at the barracks, the increasing presence of the automatons, and the seemingly altered demeanor of the CAOs all hinted at something deeper happening within the city's power structure. But the full implications of these shifts remained just out of reach. like shadows in the periphery of his vision, leaving Eris to wonder what Baum had in store and how it would affect not only him, but the future of the entire metropolis. As Eris entered the expansive office, he immediately noticed Malik Baum standing with his hands clasped behind his back, gazing out at the large glass window that overlooked the city. The room exuded power and control, with its minimalist yet imposing design. Kaya stood at ease near the entrance side of Baum's grand desk. The sentry, having escorted Eris this far, now waited outside. Without turning, Baum began to address Eris, his voice resonating with an air of authority that filled the room.
After all these years of service, we've never crossed paths until now. Yet I feel like I know all about you. How's the wife?
She passed away many years ago.
Cancer, wasn't it? If I recall correctly, she chose not to have her cancer-ridden parts replaced. An antiquated ideology she took to the grave. And one that you still believe in.
The words hung in the air. Baum's back still turned as he continued to survey the city. The room seemed to grow colder with each passing moment. The weight of Baum's words pressing down on Eris as he stood there, facing a man whose influence reached into every corner of the metropolis. At that moment, the whir of heavy mechanical limbs lumbered into the room. Baum turned around as Jax Kane entered, his formidable presence casting a shadow over the already tense atmosphere.
Kane. Let's begin. As your last mission, Captain Eris Hart, you'll accompany Specialist Kane and Lieutenant Grant to the Solutia outpost and deliver a message to one of its mischievous inhabitants.
What, just the three of us? Eris inquired, suspicion evident in his tone.
Is there a problem, maid suit?
Said Kane.
I don't expect any resistance. Specialist Kane will brief you on the way. You leave now?
Baum turned back towards the window, dismissing them with an air of casual authority.
It was a pleasure to finally put a face to a name, Eris.
As Kaya and Eris suited up and received their weapons for permission, they boarded the craft that would take them to the Solutia outpost.
That meeting was weird. What was all that about?
Who knows? In the cargo hold, Eris watched Kane meticulously check over his heavy caliber weapon. So, Kane, what's all this about?
Someone's been a naughty boy and needs to be taught a lesson.
Kane replied with a smirk. Who's the target? Eris pressed.
A chop shop operator's been making military-grade augmentations. That's a no-no. Lieutenant Grant delivers the envelope with a cease and desist message from Baum, and we're done.
He handed the envelope to Kaya. And what's the intel on this guy's security?
Don't worry, it's all taken care of. You just get ready to enjoy your retirement.
Kane said dismissively. Eris glanced at an unfazed Kaya as they descended upon the decaying forest ruins of Solutia. Something not right about this. Keep your eyes peeled.
Eris, you're over-analyzing again.
It's what keeps me in one piece.
Just relax. You heard him. It's just a walk in, walk out.
As the door lowered, Eris exited the craft, weapon ready. They landed in a forest clearing, surrounded by a high stone perimeter wall, overgrown with vines and moss. A few meters down, they found an opening where the stones had crumbled away.
This way.
Kane pointed as the three made their way through the wall. The primitive-looking inhabitants of the area seemed disinterested in the trio's presence. A young boy ran up to Eris, holding up a small orange flower. Eris paused, smiled, took the flower and slid it between his sleeve before continuing to follow the others, constantly checking for threats. As they approached an out-of-place concrete structure, Eris noticed 2 corporation sentries standing by the entrance. He raised his weapon. As the sentries registered their presence, they began walking towards them. I thought you said there'd be no resistance.
These aren't resistance.
The sentries walked past the trio, heading in the direction of the corporation's ship. Eris's suspicion grew. Kane kicked open the door, and Kai and Eris followed him inside. The light inside was dim, filtered through the decaying roof. A startled man in his late 60s, dressed in a yellowed, blood-stained lab coat, turned to face them. He was tending to a half-human torso hung from a frame, tubes and drips inserted into its body. Behind him, several more torsos hung suspended in various stages of enhancement. The smell of blood and decay permeated the air.
Oh, Mr. Kane, I wasn't expecting you till the end of the week. I trust you have my payment for work completed thus far?
Payment? For what?
Kaya questioned. Kane gestured for Kaya to give the envelope to the man. She glared at Kane but complied, walking toward the man with the envelope. As she raised her arm, Kane raised his weapon and fired, killing both the scientist and Kaya with one shot. Eris pointed his weapon at Kane, but Kane swung around, smashing Eris in the chest and propelling him through a wooden barrier into the next room, and began shooting at the remaining torsos before making his way toward Eris. One of the torsos, a woman with long grafted tentacle-like arms, fell to the ground near Eris. Her eyes snapped open, and she scurried away into the darkness. Eris, with a broken arm and ribs, attempted to stand. As Kane came into sight, Eris fired his weapon, but the bullets ricocheted off Kane's heavily armored body. Kane fired sporadically, lighting up the wind. One of the rounds hit Eris in the stomach, obliterating his armor and sending him crashing into the corner. Kane kicked open the loosely swinging door and stood at the entrance, looking at a barely conscious Eris sprawled against the wall.
Eris, wakey, wakey.
You evil bastard, Kane. I'll be waiting for you on the other side. A hologram of Baum appeared in front of Kane.
Well, well, what a fitting farewell for our last ranking organic. I did expect more of a fight, but flesh and blood is so yesterday. Well, I suppose that's it then. Thank you for your service. Goodbye, Captain Hart.
Baum sneered before disappearing. Kane raised his weapon, but at that moment, a portion of the corrugated wall swung open from the ground up. Eris was dragged through it and vanished. Kane began firing along the wall, ripping away the metal to reveal what looked like a sewer, too small for him to enter. Eris was dragged through the dark, wet tunnel until the light began to illuminate the depths. His body spilled out into a shallow pool of water near some ruins in the forest. As he looked up helplessly, he saw the tentacled woman from the laboratory standing over him.
I haven't long until my vitals drain. Thank you for my freedom.
She said before making an uncanny sound and falling lifeless beside Eris. What felt like minutes later, several hooded figures with illuminated eyes hovered above Eris and carried him quietly off into the forest toward their sacred caverns. Meanwhile, the 2 corporation sentries and Kane searched the drain exit moments later.
Keep looking.
A small fire smoldered, sending embers up into the opening high above the cave canopy. Above the cave, mounted like a god, was a large automaton head, its cold metallic eyes watching over the space with a forbidding presence. One of the mysterious healers tended to Eris as he slowly regained consciousness. The hooded figure came into focus. Eris instinctively searched for his weapon.
We are not your enemy. You will not need your weapon here.
The hooded healer said. How did I get here? The healer removed his hood, revealing a metallic face, and pointed to the woman who dragged him through the sewer system, now lying motionless nearby.
She brought you to us.
Eris slowly lifted his arm, and to his horror, saw it glint in the light with a metallic hue.
What have you done to me?
He exclaimed, distressed as he sat up and stared at his arm.
I'd rather die than have this.
Eris, you place too much trust in your eyes.
What?
It is an exoskeleton until your arm heals.
Eris continued to stare at his arm before slowly getting off his makeshift bed and walking over to the lifeless woman. Can you save her?
You already did.
I don't understand anything anymore.
In confusion, one can find clarity. Shed your old thoughts and paradigm. They will no longer serve you as you rise from the embers into your next life.
Eris slowly drifted into a trance, focusing on a single ember dancing side to side as it floated up before disappearing into the darkness. Then suddenly, he jolted awake.
Wait, I need to get home.
Your home is no more.
Why do you say that? And why should I believe you?
Because we are everywhere, and we inhabit everything.
What of my family? Are they safe?
The healer nodded.
What was that place in the forest?
A biolab, far from prying eyes, but it served its purpose.
What purpose?
Rest, Eris. Fate must run its course. We will take you to where you need to go soon enough.
At that moment, the healer raised his metallic hand in front of Eris's eyes as it vibrated rapidly, inducing a deep sleep.